Hey, friend, I decided to embark on a journey to reinvent and transform my life in 2022. And I want to take you along for the ride. So stay tuned because for the next 10 weeks, I'm going to be sharing with you this amazing journey as I go through the Unleash Her Power Within program powered by Tony Robbins. Hey, friend, welcome to week 4 of the Unleash Her Power Within journey. This is the first week of the second phase of the program, which is all about reinvention. This is why I signed up for this program because I told myself 2022 is going to be my year of reinventing myself. And I saw this program as the something that would help me do just that. So I was really, really excited that we're starting with this new phase of the program, which is reinvention. Week 4 is the first of 3-part training on this reinvention phase, and it's all about identity training. Most people know what to do to create lasting changes. We all know what we need to do. If you want to lose weight, you know exactly how to lose weight. If you want to get a new job, you know exactly how to get a new job. If you want to get a promotion, you know exactly what it takes to do a promotion. We technically know what we need to do, but for some reason, not always we are consistent or not always we implement what we know. And that is because of an identity inconsistency. So this week's training was starting this journey of clarifying our identity, about learning exactly how to create, integrate, and unapologetically be ourselves every day with clarity and confidence. So, after that, I'm sure you're saying, okay, now I understand why you were so excited about this program and why you were so excited about this phase of reinvention. So, week 4, the topic is mentor vision. And I'm going to talk more about that. But before I jump into that, I want to start with this week's quote. Every week we always start with a quote. Um, this week, the quote is from KK. KK is our guide in this process. She's our facilitator. She says she's not a trainer because the teaching is the trainer or the teaching is the teacher. So she doesn't consider herself a teacher, but she's definitely an amazing guide for us in this process, for all the women that are part of this Unleash Her Power Within program. It's about, I don't know, probably there's 1,500 of us doing this program at the same time. Anyways, this quote from KK says, once you adjust your identity around a decision, everything in your life will change because it's about this is what I do and this is who I am. So let's dig into this week of the Unleash Her Power Within journey. And I told you I was so excited about this program because of this phase of reinvention. I've been on a journey to reinvent myself. And when KK started this week's session, she started by saying that in this phase of reinvention, right, a lot of us believe that we're here to invent something new, to create a new version of us, something that is completely new. Like we're scrapping who we were and we are creating this new identity that we are or that we aspire to be. And to be honest, that was a little bit of what my expectation was. That was a little bit of what I was looking forward to. But then she said, you're not inventing something new. You are remembering who you are at your core. And that struck me. That was on one hand disappointing, but on the other hand, so empowering. And it got me even more excited about this phase of reinvention because it's not about creating something new. It's not, I always had this conflict inside of me of I want to reinvent myself, but still stay true to myself. And I thought those two things were in conflict. I thought I couldn't reinvent myself and stay true to who I am because I'm kind of evolving into something new. So I am leaving behind who I've been. And it was this conflict on my mind, and that conflict went away when I heard KK saying that what this phase is about remembering who you are at your core. And that is so inspiring and so empowering to me. This week, we talk about the formula to achieve anything that you want. Isn't that something that we are all looking for? Right? We all looking for that magic formula to achieve what we want in life, whatever that is for you. And she shared this formula. It's actually a Tony Robbins formula, and it has three components. There's three ways to achieve anything that you want. So there's one, two, and three elements. I'm going to start with number two, which was immersion. This is about doing the extra large actions, right? Is it makes 100 times more likely for you to get to your destination when you immerse yourself. We always give the example of languages, right? If I want to learn a new language, I remember when I was a kid, I spent years going to English classes. Like, I spent over a decade going to English classes as a kid living in Spain. And then I moved with my parents to Honduras, and I was in a bilingual school, meaning that all my classes, except three, were in English. All of my classes. And I felt so stupid. I felt like I did not know English at all. Like, it was like over a decade of studying a language, like, I felt I really didn't know any English. It was so hard for me to get through my classes in English. It was so hard to follow the conversations. It was so hard to understand what we were doing. But after a few months, I was so fluent in English. I was studying in English. I was thinking in English. The same thing happened when I moved to the US. Like, my English at that point was pretty good. But when I came here, I remember being at work and I was so exhausted by the end of the day because I was always trying to translate everything in my mind. I was thinking in Spanish and trying to translate all my thoughts into English. And at the end of the day, I was so exhausted and I was not making any sense when I was talking. And then one day, all of a sudden, I started dreaming in English. And then I knew I was on the other side. And the only reason what I am as fluent as I am today in English is because I immersed myself in English language. And it's never going to be perfect because it's not my first language. But when I compare back to how my English was before coming here to how it is today, is like day and night. Day and night. Okay, number three, the third ingredient for achieving anything that you want is space repetition. It's like if you immerse yourself over and over again, not one time, but you keep immersing yourself, that's when you achieve what you want. And the number one component in this three component formula is the one component that we invested all the time in our session this week on the Unleash Her Power Within program, and that is modeling. Modeling is about finding someone that has achieved the results that you want, someone that is a role model. Find those people that inspire you, right? That are role models for you, people that you admire, and try to identify what do you admire, what do you respect about them. And this is the basis and foundation for reinventing ourselves. And this is the basis for this week's session of Unleash Her Power Within, we did a mentor vision exercise. This was one of the shortest weeks yet, but it was so, so powerful. So, KK had us think about mentors. Mentors are our most trusted guides and influences who inspire us. They can be people that we know or we don't know. Um, I talked about this earlier this week on the episode when I talked about the fact of or the concept of proximity, right? And I talk about virtual mentors and those that are in proximity. And last week when I talk about the 10 people that you need in your life. And mentors are one of those key people that we need in our lives, people that we can look up to because they are a step or two or 1,000 steps ahead of us. There are people that we admire and that we're willing to learn from their experiences, from the situations that they've been through, from their knowledge. They're a wealth of knowledge and experience that can help guide us, right, in our journeys. So, anyways, KK asked us to take a few minutes and list as many people as we wanted, people that basically inspire us, people that right now, and this is the key, right now in this point of our lives are people that we look up to, people that are role models, right? If we think about people that we admire, that inspire us, who are those people? And it was like just write a list of names. I came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 people in my list. These are people that right now in this moment of my life are people that I see as role models. A lot of these people I don't know personally, right? Like I have Tony Robbins here, for example. Or I have KK on my list right now because I'm spending a lot of time with her in this program. But I also have like my daughter, Michelle. It can be anyone. And once we've kind of had our list of who are these role models in our lives, then she asked us to narrow down that list and narrowed it down to the top six. And this is one thing that I love about KK. She doesn't like rules. So she's like, if you want to do A, do A. Like, I don't care. I'm not the one that likes to follow the rules, but I am. So I did stick with six. And the six that I picked, and again, this one's, if I do this exercise, let's say a year from now, this list might look different. I had people in my list, like my mom, for example. She has always been my role model. Um, but she didn't make it to my top six right now because we were focusing on people that right now in this moment in time are those role models. My mom is, if I look at my entire life, she will be one of my top three role models for sure. But anyways, the people that I picked was Tony Robbins, was KK, Mel Robbins. I've been reading a lot of her books and listening to her a lot. Jenna Kutcher is also someone that I've been listening a lot to. Scott Miller, he is someone that has been on my podcast. I've met through my podcast. I work with him, and there is something that he taught me that has been very impactful for me right now. I mentioned to you that I'm in the process of switching jobs, and in making my decision about moving to this new job, I went back to an exercise that I learned from him that consisted on making a list and prioritizing your personal values, which is something that I've done many times in my life, but also your career values, your professional values, and kind of put them side by side. and realizing that sometimes those are in conflict with each other, and trying to identify when do they overlap. When can you have it all, right? The things that you value personally and the things that you value in your career. And that exercise right now was so impactful for me in making the decision to move to the next chapter in my career. So that's why I have him in the list. And then I picked Michelle. Michelle is my 5-year-old daughter. And yeah, she's a role model for me. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. But once we narrowed down to the top six, she asked us to take time to identify and write down the reasons why we selected those as specific people. What are the qualities that we admire in these people? And it was like a free flowing exercise, right? It didn't have to be perfect. In fact, I'm looking at my workbook from the program and I can't even understand my handwriting sometimes. But these are the six people that I picked. And I just want to mention a couple of things about each of them. I wrote a whole paragraph for each of these people, but I'm just going to point out a couple of things that I admire in these individuals, why they made it to my top six list right now. So the first one was Tony Robbins. I think he has an amazing energy and vibrancy. He has the ability to inspire others and to make a positive impact in other people. He's so selfless. He's always focused on service, serving others, and always over delivers. He commands any stage that he's at. He's a great communicator. He has a great ability to listen, to read people, to transform life. And even though he's so successful and so known, he always prioritizes his family and his key relationships in his life. And he shows up authentically without holding back any aspects of himself. Then I have KK, also vibrant, full of energy, very charismatic, authentic, but also vulnerable. She's a great communicator. She inspires others. She is authentic. She immerses herself. She's been doing this program with us and she's doing the work like any one of us, right? Then I have Mel Robbins. She's a great communicator and a great author. She is a great storyteller and she has the ability to combine her great storytelling with facts and research. And she's able to explain the somehow complex concepts in such a simple and relatable way. And I really admire that on her. She's very down to earth. She has come up with very simple but very impactful tools like the 5 second rule or the high five habit, which is one of the my favorite books last year. She's inspiring, vulnerable, and transparent. Then I have Scott Miller. I think he's also very vulnerable, authentic, and energetic. He's very efficient. He doesn't hold back. He accepts his shortcomings, his opportunities with transparency. He leads from his mistakes, and he accepts his mistakes, and he actually shares a lot of vulnerable moments that have made him become a better version of himself. And his ability to absorb concepts from the best people around the world, the best mentors, the best authors around the world, and his ability to synthesize those learnings and communicate them to others it's amazing. Then I had Jenna Kutcher. She's very humble. She's down to earth. She's not driven by anything else but fulfillment. She doesn't care about the titles and all those things, but she's very humble and driven by fulfillment. She's successful, relatable, vulnerable, resilient. And then I have my daughter. And the reason why I had my daughter as a role model is because she's a bundle of joy. She's always smiling, she's always happy. She cares about other people. She connects so easily with others. She's so lovable. But also, she has her own ideas and she stands up for those ideas and she loves to learn. So I'm so proud of her. And she definitely is one of my role models. Anyways, we did this exercise of listing all the reasons why we admire these people, we came up with this six people as our six top role models right now in where we are in our lives. And then she starts talking about how we are all mirrors from each other, right? The people, think about people that trigger you, people that you get upset when you interact with them. And the reason why you get upset or why they trigger you is because you see something inside of you through them. So, this is this concept of we're all mirrors from each other. Like, for example, if someone is always late and that really frustrates you, right? Where in your life are you insecure or for being unreliable? It's probably that they are mirroring something that is inside of you. The only reason why you see those things in other people is because you have them inside of you. But this is also true the other way around. Like, there are seven, more than 7 billion people in planet Earth. And somehow everyone in this session, we were able to come up with six that inspire us the most. And why did we pick those six people is based on this concept of the mirror, the fact that they are a mirror for what we see inside of us. The things that we recognize in them, we wouldn't have recognized in them if those were not things that were inside of us. Maybe they are things that are not fully developed yet, but they are part of who we are. They are inside of us. The people that you look up for, we look up for them because they're a mirror of us. So when after we did this exercise of coming out, what do we admire in those people? We went by and read those things without looking at the names of the people, but just thinking of us. Like, this is what is inside of us. All the things that I read to you, all the things that I admire in Tony Robbins and in KK and in Mel Robbins and in Jenna and Scott and my little bundle of joy. All those things are things that are inside of me. And that was so empowering and that made me feel so good. The fact that these are the qualities that I want to show up more. These are the things that I want to embrace more. But these are not things that are new or alien to me. These are things that are inside of me that I just need to remember. We need to be open, aware, and willing to see a part of us that maybe we haven't seen yet or we haven't met yet. To see more for ourselves than what we think is possible, to notice more than what is available to us, to go that distance, to be willing and open and aware, even if we don't know it yet, because our mind is going to tell us otherwise. Our mind is going to tell us that this is not us, that we can't show up this way. But we wouldn't even notice about these things if these things were not already part of who we are. And when I was reading through these qualities, there were things that, yeah, I could relate to, things that I'm like, yeah, I also have that, but not to the level that these people have, right? And there were some things that I listed that I admire in these people that I thought That's not me. I wish it was me, but it's not me. And knowing that all of these things are inside of me. Some of them are more developed than others, right? Some are there and I haven't tapped on them yet, but knowing that they're there. And if I'm open and I'm willing to tap into that potential that is inside of me and remember who I am at my core, I can bring those all out and show up like that version of me that I want to be. That version of me that it's there inside of me and hasn't surfaced yet. So this week was super powerful, and I can't wait for week 5 on where this is going and what are we doing with this and how are we bringing all these things to the surface and embracing all these qualities of us that are the qualities that we want to show up with like. So that was the summary for week 4, the first of 3 weeks in the reinvention phase. I hope that you tune in next week to keep going on this journey because this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And I want to invite you to do this exercise that we did as part of the program. Think about who are those people that you admire? Who are those role models that you have right now in your life? And try to think about why are they your role models right now? What qualities do these people have that make you admire them? And then read through those qualities, knowing that all those qualities are qualities that are inside of you, that are already there. That the only reason why you're seeing those things in other people is because other people are a mirror of you, the same way that you're a mirror for other people. Okay, I hope you like this week's update of the Unleash Her Power Within journey. I will see you here again next week for week 5 of this journey, going more into this identity topic and going deeper into this reinvention phase. See you next week.